overall. The games happened on Thursday night. We got 6 games, and I think the big news is AD returned. So somehow you held on to AD and you made it to the playoffs. Hopefully he can do some damage. First game not so good. The first game is the Celtics beating the Phoenix Suns. Big win for the Celtics. For the Suns, Mikal Bridges 15 points, 1 3, 1 steal. At this point, he's not a must roster guy. Like if you're in the playoffs, and if you really need some, for example, rebounding and assist, he lacks in those two categories. Not a big rebound guy. Like if he's the worst player or if he's your worst rebounder, which I doubt he is, but in that case, if he's your worst assist guy, right? Sure, you could drop him to stream somebody else, but I doubt it. He could be a worse assist guy because he's only averaging like 1.5 or 2 assists. But if you got any center on your team, probably they're doing the same thing. Cameron Johnson's he also have some short-term streaming value with Jay Crowder out. Went 0 for 6. He can also hit some threes. Pretty efficient guy and can get some steals, similar to Mikal Bridges. DeAndre Ayton also didn't play that well. Still in the block, 9 rebound, 10 points. That's okay. Devin Booker continues to struggle a bit. 15 points, 5 turnovers, only 2 assists, while Chris Paul also played. Chris Paul just playing some heavy minutes. Devin Booker fouled out in 25 minutes. I don't know what happened with Devin this game. Chris Paul, 30 minutes, continues to put up crazy numbers. 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 22 points. Every single game, Chris Paul just, contributing multiple categories, efficient everywhere. What can you say about this guy? I mean, he missed 1 game, I believe, this season. Not even. I don't know. For the Celtics, Jaylen Brown was out this game, so Jason Tatum decided he went 3 for 17, they still got the win. 11 rebound, 8 for 8 from the free throw line is good, 6 assists and a steal. He'll be better than this, obviously. And Robert Williams, if he's out there on the waiver wire, I would pick him up. If you got an IR, for sure you already stashed him in there. But if in your league, no IR, he should be nearing a return. So that's something to keep in mind. Once he comes back, he should be playing 20, 25 minutes and put up, especially the big man stats give you. Tristan Thompson, you should, like I said, if you need some rebound, you should be streaming him. Had 12 rebounds here and 9 points. Marcus Smart, 7 rebound in okay game. 7 rebound, 5 assists and a steal. 11 points. If you're trying to win efficiency, if the matchup this week, playoffs, we're already at Friday. If Saturday, Sunday, you got Celtics playing and the field goal is super close and everything else is determined, you might want to start thinking about benching Marcus Smart. Kemba Walker had a huge game. 32 points, a block, 4 rebound and 4 assists. We know every once in a while this guy can score for 30 points. But in category leagues, how much is he really contributing other than points and threes? He obviously give you a little bit of he has been really pretty good in the last month. 37th ranked player, average 6 assists. So also giving us a decent amount of assists in the last month and shooting 95% from the free throw line on 3 attempts. So not too bad. I thought he's only gonna be a top 70, 80s guy, but in the last month he has been playing pretty well. But you can see like he's not even averaging 20 points, 19 points, 2.8 threes. You're not gonna find another guy off the waiver wire that can put up on a per game basis put up stats like this. But we know he's a guy that could potentially miss games, a lot of back-to-backs. Let's go to the next game. The Pelicans got a win, but at this point, doesn't really matter. They're out of the playoffs. Not even going to be in a playing tournament, it looks like. Brandon Ingram, great. 29 points, no defensive stats. That's mainly the thing. That's the thing that's keeping him from being a top 20 player. He's efficient everywhere. Good rebound and assist overall. But it's just a defensive stat. Zion, 23 points, no defense. I guess nobody on the Pelicans got any defense this game. Collectively as a team, they had 2 steals and 3 blocks. And they scored 135 points. I guess they didn't really need to play any offense because offensively they're just killing it. Steven Adams returned, had an ankle injury. You could drop him. Maybe you can stream Jackson Hayes or stream Willie Hernan Gomez. Those 2 guys, given 30 minutes, they could Jackson Hayes is an energy guy, can give you a bunch of defensive stats. Hernan Gomez is more of a big rebound guy. He grabbed 12 rebounds in 17 minutes. So depending on what you need, you could stream both guys. Lonzo Ball this game was a blowout, so he only got 24 minutes. 12 assists, really good. 12 assists. And Arnaud Marshall, the guy was playing 30 plus minutes in the last week or so, putting up pretty good stats. And this game, we know it's a blowout, but the fact that Kira Lewis Jr. played more minutes than he did, he's not a must roster guy, I don't think, even with all the injuries going on, with Josh Hart out. For the Orlando Magic, correct, Wendell Carter Jr. was out, so streaming Mo Bamba was a pretty good idea. He went off here. 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 17 points. If Wendell continues to miss time, we could definitely stream Mo Bamba. He could be a pretty big blocks guy and rebound guy. He shot 6 for 15, weirdly low from the field, but he's a guy that we could for sure stream if Wendell end up missing more time. Okiki went 1 for 12. That obviously sucks, but I think he's still a hold in category leagues. He's providing pretty good value across the board. Depend on in the playoffs, he's a guy for sure you could cut. Depend on if Magic doesn't have a game Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which they probably do. But if they don't, for sure he's a drop. They have another game Sunday. This is something to think about. You could drop him so that for 3 days you could stream. Pick up a guy that played tonight and tomorrow, and then stream another guy on Sunday. So you get 3 games instead of 2. Also depend on how many acquisitions you have in your league. If you got 7 or 8, that means you could stream 2 roster spots. Just stream guys in and out. Try to play, for those 2 roster spots, try to have a guy play every single night. So it depends. If you got unlimited acquisition, Okiki is probably a drop. You can put up a guy every single day. Cole Anthony, 25 minutes, 14 points, okay, has some low end values, but the guy's efficiency is rough. The only thing he gives you is assists. Giving us is assists at this point. Not too much to talk about on the Magic side. RJ Hampton is a guy with some upside. He got 27 minutes, but the minutes is really up and down with him. He's a guy that could stream. They got a game on Sunday, but you probably can find better talents on the waiver wire than RJ Hampton in 12-team leagues. Obviously, if you have 18 teams, 20 teams, yeah, sure, it's a different story. The next game, the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Philadelphia Sixers. Sixers, they're on a bit losing streak, but it doesn't. I don't think it matters too much. They should be a top two seed. After this game, the top 3 teams in the East, they went 5-5. They all went 5-5 in the last 10 games. Harden obviously was out for Nets, and KD was in and out of the lineup. For this game, the Sixers, Danny Green, I don't know why he only played 14 minutes. They decided to switch things up a little bit with Ben Simmons out. I think if you want some defensive stats and threes, you're not gonna find a better player out there than Danny Green. I believe he's still a hold. I had only 15 minutes. It's just weird. Did he get hurt? Yeah, he did not get hurt. He's a guy that I will keep. He's been pretty good last month. Just one bad game is I don't think matters too much. Tobias Harris, 18.6 assists, good efficiency is what Tobias does. And Joel Embiid, 24 points. Even when he has a bad game, he put up okay stats. Only 3 rebounds, 3 assists, bad efficiency from the field versus this Bucks team. But as long as he's playing top 3 guy in fantasy. Seth Curry came back, could be a 3-point streamer, and he's probably the best 3-point streamer with the best efficiency out there compared to other like a Tim Hardaway Jr. who's gonna shoot very low 40s or high 30s, very high percentage. Compared to him, Seth Curry is great, especially when it comes to efficiency department. Shake Milton got 26 minutes, had 20 points. He's mainly a points guy with Ben Simmons out. I think Ben Simmons should be nearing a return. it shouldn't be that serious. But if Ben Simmons continues to be out, I would stream Matisse Thybulle for defensive stats. I would stream guys like Shake Milton mainly for points, and maybe Tyrese Maxey, but he only played 20 minutes this game. So I would prioritize Shake Milton over Tyrese Maxey if I want some points for sure. Matisse Thybulle absolutely for some defensive stats. He could play 35 minutes, give us 4 steals and 3 blocks. He's very capable of doing that. For the Bucks side, Chris Middleton, good efficiency, 24 points, only 1 rebound, 4 threes. Good game from Chris Middleton. Giannis, the stat line looks so good other than the free throws. 27 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals and a block. That's pretty much what he's like. Other than the defensive stat, that's pretty much he's averaging. 27, 28 points, 12 rebound, 12, 13 rebound. 5 assists. Obviously, 2 steals and a block is good. Brook Lopez had 2 blocks and 4 threes. That's what you want from him. And again, Brook Lopez is the guy you could drop in the playoffs because he's basically a 2-category guy. If you already locked up threes or blocks, or you're losing threes or blocks, you're trying to win any other category. Brook Lopez is not going to give you that. Brook Lopez doesn't give you assists. He doesn't give you steals. He doesn't give you, rebound. Like, if you're trying to win rebound, he's really not the guy. You could pick up a guy that can give you 8-9 rebound. But I think in most scenarios, you probably have another guy on your team that have fewer rebound than Brook Lopez. But if you want some steals, he's a guy that if you really need some steals, he's a guy that you could potentially drop, or you really need some assists because he's not giving you any of those. Dante DiVincenzo did not have the best game. I think he's still worth streaming at least. Giving us pretty good rebound, steals. Obviously the steal rate is not as good as last year's. But if you need threes, rebound, a little bit assist and steals, he's a guy that you could stream in the playoffs. Jrue Holiday had 11 assists, still in a block, still playing good, still playing well enough. In the last month, he's being a beast. Bobby Portis played 22 minutes, and PJ Tucker also played 22. Bobby Portis is the guy that this season, whenever he gets minutes, he put up pretty big stats. But we just don't know if he's gonna get minutes. But we know if Giannis is out, you gotta stream this guy. Bobby Portis is the guy you want to stream. Let's go to the next game. The San Antonio Spurs beating the Detroit Pistons. Pistons, the rotation. So Mason Plumlee, he played 32 minutes and did not play this game. Out for rest. So Mason Plumlee is a guy that whenever he plays and you need some big man stats, sure, like he's gonna give you good rebound, good efficiency, and steals and blocks. But if he's out, for sure you drop in. Isaiah Stewart, another great game, 13 rebound, 2 blocks, 8 points. He's a guy that I would hold. But again, like a lot of big men in your playoffs, if you're in the playoffs, you really need some trying to win steals and blocks. Steals and assists. Isaiah Stewart is the guy you could drop, right? You could drop all your centers to try to pick up guys with assists and steals and try to win. Just try to win your matchup. That's just get through it. Because a lot of big guys really they give you 3 categories: the rebound, the field goal, and the blocks, right? A lot of big guys also hurting your free throws. So it really depends on your matchup. Josh Jackson got 31 minutes. Another great game other than 5 for 9 from the free throw line. 29 points, a block. He's been getting a lot of minutes. If you need some points and some defensive stats, he could give you that. Killian Hayes, after resting, he came back. 5 assists, a steal and a block is okay. He's a perfect guy. Like if you need some assists and you need some steals, he's been getting a lot of steals lately. You could obviously do a swap with drop Isaiah Stewart and pick up Killian Hayes. It just depends on your matchup, what you need to do to win in the category league. Sadiq Bey played 32 minutes is still high with him. He's the only young guy on this team getting the most minutes, honestly. Hit 2 threes. He's a really reliable threes guy and steals guy, like a Justin Holiday, maybe with better efficiency. So if you need those categories, sure. Frank Jackson, 33 minutes. Not interesting. A lot of they got a lot of guards, and looks like they're just swapping. Like whenever Killian Hayes is playing, Corey Joseph is gonna be out. If Killian Hayes is resting, Corey Joseph comes in and plays 30 minutes. And that seems to be what they're doing. So you just gotta be swapping guys in and out depending on who he plays. For the Spurs, easy win. Derrick White finally went off. This is why we like Derrick White, because as a point guard he gets blocks. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Usually most point guards they get like 0.2, 0.3 blocks unless you're Fred VanVleet. But Derrick White gets over 1 block a game. That's why we like Derrick White. Finally, he put up together a good game, 2 threes, good efficiency everywhere, 26 points, only 1 turnover, 3 blocks. That's why we love him. 1 steal, 8 assists, 7 rebound. He can do a bit of everything. Finally, a great game from him. Lonnie Walker got 33 minutes. I think who is out this game? A couple guys are out this game actually. The Spurs, they're in the. They're not trying. Okay, DeRozan was out, but I don't think the Spurs, they are, even if they're in the playoffs, it's probably a first round exit. But they're still fighting for it. Keldon Johnson had a pretty good game as well. 7 rebounds, 3 steals. But he's not a must roster guy. If you want some rebound, you could go for it. Jakob Poeltl went off again. 4 blocks, 4 assists, 11 rebound. Good efficiency, actually from the free throw line as well. From the field, obviously, 17 points, really, really good. Another great game. Versus a bad Detroit team, that's, we could all see it coming. Let's go to the next game. The Charlotte Hornets, without their best players, they just could keep losing. That's no surprise. But they should be in the plays. They're still holding on to the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Wizards right now are 10th, and I don't think even they're 3 games ahead of the 10th seed, so I don't think they're gonna fall out of at least the playing. They will be between 7th and 10th seed. Jaden McDaniels, the minutes is really, really good, but he hasn't been doing much, so I'll be okay for sure. I'll be moving on from him. Miles Bridges, a block, 3 assists, 5 rebound. He's been doing a little bit of everything, so I think it's probably a hold. And the minutes is super high. This was a blowout. The minutes is super high with him, so probably a hold. Vernon Carey Jr. starts every single game and doesn't play. I think he also played like between 10 and 15 minutes. So he's not you don't want to even stream him. Devontae Graham, only 3 assists and no defensive stats. If you need assists and threes, he's a hold. But if you're trying to win field goal, you're trying to win the rebound, the blocks, he's a drop. Right? In the playoffs, you can't afford to have a guy that's basically hurting your field goal every single game, high turnover. And if you don't need threes and assists, what's the point of holding him? Terry Rozier also did not play his best game. 8 assists, 11 points, but he's been so good. Also got a block. PJ Washington, don't know why he only played 30 minutes. He's a guy that could give you stats across the board, but not a must roster in the playoffs. In the playoffs, the standards got to be different. Just got to look at your situation and look at the schedule. He's a guy that can give you actually nice stats across the board. There's not one counting stat that he doesn't really have. Maybe he doesn't get that many assists, but the main thing with him is I don't know why the minutes is super low for him. He basically shared minutes with Cody Zeller and Vernon Carey Jr. Right? But I think it's just one game. He should be getting 20 to 20, at least 25 minutes next game. The Martin brothers both got around 20 minutes, but unless they get 30 minutes consistently, I wouldn't go stream. I don't even want to stream them, to be honest, because the minutes is so up and down. For the Bulls, Patrick Williams, the minutes are pretty low across the board. Vucevic, Patrick Williams, okay. If you need some defensive stats, I would stream him. Daniel Theis, just not enough minutes. Him and Thaddeus Young are basically splitting the minutes, and Thaddeus Young is better than Daniel Theis, not even close on a permanent basis. Thaddeus Young only 20 minutes, but again, crazy efficiency, 18 points, 4 rebound, 3 steals. Like still a very respectable line. I don't know what's gone into Thaddeus Young this season, but he's been really, really good. But I wouldn't stream him because sometimes we play 15 and it's just hard. I think there's just better talent out there. But if you're trying to win rebound, field goal, assists, steals, assists, and blocks, if you need a bit of everything, sure you could stream Thaddeus Young, but very, very low end streaming value, I think, at this point. Vucevic, great. 16 rebounds, 6 assists, no defensive stat, 18 points. Looks okay. And Kobe White, I believe he's with Zach Lavine out, coach is letting him play loose. Usually he plays the most minutes on the team, and he's been giving us a lot of defensive stats. One block this game, one steal the other game. One steal this game, one block the other night, right? And he's scoring a bunch, hitting some threes, and giving us some assists. So I don't really mind streaming him for sure. Pick him up, and both have a pretty good schedule. Satoransky is not a must roster, although this game he had 7 assists and 3 steals. If you really need some assists, he's a guy that you could stream. And Lauri Markkanen had 26 minutes, but this guy not interested. He really give you points and some threes. And he only played 20 to 25 minutes. Some nights he only plays 20. Let's go over the last game. A couple headlines. I think Porzingis hurt him. Porzingis got injured. If you don't have an IR, I highly doubt he will play the next game. He had an ankle injury, and if you're really trying to win, I think he's a drop. Obviously, he's a top 25 guy. In the playoffs, like I said, it's you gotta be more cutthroat. Porzingis could realistically be out for a week, and maybe more. And when he does come back, he's gonna be on the minute restriction, and the season is over. Right? We are like 2-3 weeks out of, 2-3 weeks away from the last day of the fantasy season. So there's no long-term value here. It's give us value now, or else we're gonna drop the players, right? Anthony Davis, you probably held on to him all season. In the playoffs, in 60 minutes, he gave us 1 steal, 1 block, bad efficiency. But if you held him through it all, probably a good idea to leave him in the waiver in the IR for a few more games. But again, in the playoffs, you probably want to do a lot of streaming. But he's too good I think, to let it go, even just in 20 minutes. If you held onto him all this time, I think you just have to hold him. Andre Drummond, great. 30 minutes, 19 rebounds. Minutes is super, super high. Maybe they just want to play Andre Drummond 80 to see what happens. Because Andre was getting 25 minutes around. But we know Andre, whenever he gets minutes, he put up great, crazy stats. 19 rebounds, a steal, and 3 blocks. Looked really, really good. Kyle Kuzma, with AD back, LeBron is still out. If you want some rebounding points, he could give you that, especially if the Lakers' schedule look good. Dennis Schroeder, also a great game. 13 assists, and 25 points. But the category he gave you, he's hurting you in a few categories, like the turnover, like the field goal. He doesn't give you any blocks or rebound, but he boosts your points quite a bit, give you a lot of assists. Right, so it's a trade-off. And also in the playoff, he's not a must roster guy. And with AD back, Taylor Horton Tucker, if you got him on your roster, he's a drop. And Markieff Morris, Alex Caruso, not interested. From the Mavericks, Porzingis hurt his ankle. So I would wait till if there any more news coming out. If we know he's gonna miss a week, we got 2 weeks left. So what's the point of holding on to him? Most fantasy leagues, you probably have 2-3 weeks left. Sorry, we're already near the end of the week. So most leagues are 2 weeks and 2 days, 2 weeks and 3 days. Some leagues maybe only 1 week and 3 days left. So why are you holding on to him if he's gonna miss a week, right? He comes back, play 20 minutes again for a few games, then the season is over. Josh Richardson played okay. If Porzingis does end up missing some time, then Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell, probably some of these guys are gonna get a few more minutes. You could stream them. This game, Dorian Finney, the minutes is super high, so you could stream him. He give you a little bit of everything. He's a guy who can give you good rebound and hit some threes, a little bit defensive stats as well. And look at this game's minutes is high. Luka, not to talk about him, not much to talk about. 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals, 30 points. Pretty good across the board. And Jalen Brunson, Tim Hardaway Jr., all those guys you could be streaming. You could be streaming. And if Porzingis does end up missing some time, I think Willie Cauley-Stein is also another guy you could stream, give you good rebound and blocks, a little bit steals as well. Let's go to, that's it for all the games. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.